Welcome, Climate Viewers. This is Jim Lee from ClimateViewer News at ClimateViewer.com. And tonight we're going to talk about a little bit of propaganda and privacy, something I don't get to talk too much about. Apparently I had the YouTube playing in the background. Who knew? There's this guy named Mike Benz from the Foundation for Freedom Online. And I appreciate the follow. I have been laser focused on this conversation since I first heard it. And I first heard it, with Tucker Carlson. He did an interview with him. And there was another interview, follow up to that, obviously, with Russell Brand. And I've put all this together over on my Substack. If you don't see the links and the details, refresh the page, but they're already there. Or just go to climateviewer.substack.com, and it has the same title as this video: Election Rigging, Digital MKUltra, and Censorship, the Ministry of Truth, as you can see here. And if you want links to that, please hit the subscribe button. Go drop your email in there. Good Lord, that's a lot of new followers just piling in. I really appreciate you guys. And those people who are subscribing over here, if you guys want to get into the Substack, you can go to connect.climateviewer.com or go directly to climateviewer.substack.com. And let's just put it this way. What I did was, I normally talk about weather modification. Most of you people know that. You know that I talk about geoengineering, all that sort of stuff. I'm gonna drop the link in chat for everybody. There you go. That way you have it. It's already there. Let's just put that over there in the Rumble chat too. So I normally talk about geoengineering, weather modification, these sort of things. What you don't know is that in the past, I mapped out all of the NSA, Five Eyes, spy facilities around the world. And this got me a nice little interview with the NSA guy on my beach vacation. And I joke a lot about, I'm just going to turn the alert box off for a moment. I think it's going to continue to, yes, it is. It's going to continue to just ring. Love you, mean it. Turning that off for a second. I've been, interviewed by the NSA for what I did. I joke about being proudly shadow banned since 2015, but we're way past joking. And, I'm all about, names, addresses, receipts. And I finally found somebody of like mind, another person who, just stream of thought, words spewing out of his mouth, like drinking from a fire hose. And it rang so true with me and what I already believed. It was an affirmation of everything that I knew to be fact, that the deep state, or as Mike Benz likes to refer to them, the blob, they TM, are censoring everybody, and it is for nefarious political intentions. Now, for those who don't know, I had a Discord chat with over 6,000 members in it. I literally mentioned, I read a letter from the CEOs of all of the airlines to Joe Biden saying, hey, you said COVID need no longer, run our life. And YouTube slapped me with a medical misinformation for that. And now we have the receipts. We know exactly why. We know who did this, why they did this. And not only was COVID-19, so many people lost their channels, got so many community guideline strikes. And of course, we want to look at Google as, Google's the problem or Facebook's the problem. But when you've got these government parasites literally forcing them under the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, so important they had to put security in it twice in the name, that this group of individuals has empowered the Department of Homeland Security and CISA to treat misinformation online as if it were a cyber attack and threaten all of the social media platforms with $54 million fines per post if they don't use AI and algorithms to create an artificial, an automatic digital ghetto. Love that term. That literally, if they don't comply with mass censorship and surveillance, that they could be hit with millions, billions, when you think about the number of users they have, billions, if not trillions of dollars in fines, and lose their Section 230 immunity, which publisher versus, public utility kind of thing. So this is where it all gets kind of crazy. I'm going to start with Mike Benz just dropping bombs, and then we'll go through. What I did was I watched Mike Benz, and this is the original interview, everything you need to know about government mass censorship campaign. It's on Tucker Carlson, his channel on Rumble and YouTube. Don't worry, I put the receipts in here for you so you can actually, if you go to my article, it's already there, so you don't have to go dig it up. Here's the YouTube version and the Rumble version. For some stupid reason, SUBSTACK doesn't allow you to embed a video from Rumble. So I'm just doing this with every single one of them, including the one you're watching right now. So this video you're watching right now is at the top with a link to the Rumble version and the YouTube version. For those who don't know, I'm also streaming on DLive, X, and Twitch right now, and pretty soon on Foxhole. But we'll get to that later. So take it away, Tucker and Mike Benz. What is this really all about?
But you're not describing democracy. I mean, you're describing a country in which democracy is impossible.
What I'm essentially describing is military rule. I mean, what's happened with the rise of the censorship industry is a total inversion of the idea of democracy itself. Democracy sort of draws its legitimacy from the idea that it is ruled by consent of the people being ruled. That is, it's not really being ruled by an overlord because the government is actually just our will expressed by our consent with who we vote for. The whole push after the 2016 election and after Brexit and after a couple of other, social media run elections that went the wrong way from what the State Department wanted, like the 2016 Philippines election, was to completely invert everything that we described as being the underpinnings of a democratic society in order to deal with the threat of free speech on the internet. And what they essentially said is,
listen closely.
We need to redefine democracy from being about the will of the voters to being about the sanctity of democratic institutions. And who are the democratic institutions? Oh, it's us. It's the military. It's NATO. It's the IMF and the World Bank. It's the mainstream media.
You know this. You already inherently know this to be true. That it's not about the will of the people anymore. That this literally is a military coup. This is a deep state blob government coup to control your minds. A digital MKUltra. It is about rigging elections. It is about all of the things. Medical misinformation. All of the things. Who is behind it? Well, I can tell you what, this hour-long interview with Tucker Carlson, I watched it 3 separate times, and I took a whole lot of notes. Don't believe me? Here's my notes. Where I wrote down every single word that he said. Wrong button. So I was writing down every single word that he said and how they were linked together. And then I went and did all my searching and everything. And I found every damn one of these institutions and where they are saying exactly what he's saying. I don't just trust, I verify. You know, I knew that it was true just from hearing it. But damn, this guy is on the ball. Back to it. Preach.
It is the NGOs, and of course these NGOs are largely State Department, and who are the underpinnings of a democratic society in order to deal with the threat of free speech on the internet. And what they essentially said is we need to redefine democracy from being about the will of the voters to being about the sanctity of democratic institutions. And who are the democratic institutions? Oh, it's us. You know, it's the military, it's NATO, it's the IMF and the World Bank. It's the mainstream media. It is the NGOs, and of course these NGOs are largely State Department funded or IC funded. It's essentially all of the elite establishments that were under threat from the rise of domestic populism that declared their own consensus to be the new definition of democracy. Because if you define democracy as being the strength of democratic institutions rather than a focus on the will of the voters, then what you're left with is essentially democracy is just the consensus building architecture within the democratic institutions themselves. And from their perspective, that takes a lot of work. I mean, the amount of work these people do. I mean, for example, we mentioned the Atlantic Council, which is one of these big coordinating mechanisms for the oil and gas industry in a region, for the finance and the JP Morgans and the BlackRocks in a region, for the NGOs in the region, for the media in the region. All of these need to reach a consensus, and that process takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of work and a lot of negotiation. From their perspective, that's democracy. Democracy.
Just think about what he's saying, that because these bastards, you know, all these NGOs, we're going to go through them. I've got the receipts. I trust me. I've already taken all the notes for you. All right. And they're all on the Substack right now. ClimateViewer.substack.com, election rigging and digital MKUltra. You cannot miss it. Link's already in the details. Already put it in chat. When you think about all of these groups and these military, this is what Eisenhower was warning about when he said the military industrial complex, that these sons of bitches think that consensus building among all of the technocrats and NGOs, that once that they've got all of, you know, they've got Vanguard and BlackRock and the WEF and the Atlantic Council and, you know, all of these different groups to agree on who's going to be the next president. That's democracy. That's the truth. If they get BlackRock, Vanguard, and the Atlantic Council and the World Health Organization to decide that the COVID-19 narrative needs to be X, then Y will get deleted. Deleted, you're gone. Just, you know, off with your head. And yes, I'm literally risking my YouTube channel tonight to say this, because I know. Over in Rumble chat, I wonder if this guy believes what he's saying or he's just in a payroll. No, I fully believe that he believes what he's saying. Bravo Juliet Alpha. This dude is for real. This is as real as it gets. And we'll get to the receipts in just a moment. But that's what right here. I just want to focus on this one part of the video, because this is really the crux of the problem that we face. That the people that think that they're better than all of us, that once they get together and they decide, you know, what the truth is and what the future should hold, we're out of the mix. Now, if you questioned the 2020 election, you were immediately censored because of these guys. If you question any narrative around COVID during the pandemic, because of these guys. I lost my Discord channel. I was banned from YouTube for like a week or two. To this day, it still says there's a warning up there every single time I log into my YouTube studio that says you violated community guidelines. And guess what? I know that these sons of bitches that I'm about to name, that Mike Benz named, they don't want people to know this stuff. They definitely don't want people to know who's behind the censorship, why they're behind the censorship, because knowing is half the battle. And they do not respect your free speech. They do not respect free elections. The CIA has been rigging elections around the world for 60 freaking years, at least. The only difference is now they've turned those same weapons that used to be externally focused inwards. Edward Snowden warned about it. Shit, I was warning about it before Snowden was warning about it, because I made my map before Snowden ever said anything. Because I recognize the danger of signals intelligence gathering 3-letter agencies and the power that they can use to form propaganda, narrative networks, perception management, these sock puppet troll armies online to really just destroy any chance of you ever getting to the truth on anything. And I've faced this, personally, from death threats to you name it, it's happened. These are the people.
Is getting the NGOs to agree with BlackRock, to agree with the Wall Street Journal, to agree with the community and activist groups who are onboarded with respect to a particular initiative. That is the difficult vote building process from their perspective. If at the end of the day, a bunch of populist groups decide that they like a truck driver who's popular on TikTok more than the carefully constructed consensus of the NATO military brass, well, then from their perspective, that is now an attack on democracy. And this is what this whole branding effort was. And of course, democracy, again, has that magic regime change predicate where democracy is our magic watchword to be able to overthrow governments from the ground up in a sort of color revolution style whole of society effort to topple a democratically elected government from the inside. For example, as we did in Ukraine, Viktor Yanukovych was democratically elected by the Ukrainian people, like him or hate him.
Preach.
Not even issuing an opinion there. But the fact is we color revolutioned him out of office. We January 6th him out of office, yes. Actually, to be frank. I mean, with respect to you had a State Department funded right sector thugs and $5 billion worth of civil society money pumped into this to overthrow a democratically elected government in the name of democracy. And they took that special set of skills home, and now it's here, perhaps potentially to stay. And this has fundamentally changed the nature of American governance because of the threat of one small voice becoming popular on social media.
So we're going to leave it there. I cannot suggest in strong enough words that you watch this entire interview, that you watch the rest of the interviews that I have up on here. So we're going to go through this pretty rapidly because, I'm not going to be here all night. I got to work in the morning. And I've literally spent 8 hours working on ClimateViewer.com on Friday. And then awesome. I'm now on Rumble in case you get blocked. Yes, everybody, please subscribe to my Rumble channel too, because God knows how they're going to react to this one. But I'm going to take us off the screen so I can just the Tucker stare. I mean, Tucker's literally like, you got to be shitting me. Like, you got to be shitting me. And I mean, I totally get that. So I'm gonna blow this up and we're gonna go through it real quick. I've been shadow banned on every platform since 2015. I've blamed the social media platforms and search engines for silencing me. However, my intuition always told me that they, trademark, were pulling the strings. When the NSA agent came to visit me poolside on my beach vacation in 2014, I asked my wife and child to leave and spoke with this official for 3 hours. The takeaway, I was on the military's naughty list for mapping the Five Eyes surveillance facilities. For those who have not seen this, I will show it to you now. And these are they. So you have all of the Five Eyes Stone Ghost surveillance network from around the world, and you can click on them and they will tell you all about it, you know, what these facilities are, where Hillary Clinton's deleted emails are. They're right there at the Utah data center. You can look it up yourself. So this got me in hot water, so to speak. And if you don't know who the Five Eyes are, it's Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, and Great Britain. There's also the Four Eyes. Then there's NATO, which is 28 countries, the International Security Assistance Forces, 48 countries, the Global Counterterrorism Force, 86 countries. All of these share their information down to the NSA, and that's how they, TM, can hear everything you're saying at all times. If you want to learn more about this, go to climateviewer.com/privacy, and you'll realize that, you know, I wrote this back in 2011, and this is what got me in so much hot water, because not only did I include that, but something in my brain was going, you know what, I'm not just going to map out the Five Eyes. These Department of Homeland Security fusion centers seem pretty troubling, because what the Department of Homeland Security fusion centers, clicking link, will pop you over to here, and you can actually see all of the DHS Department of Homeland Security fusion centers. They fuse data from your local police departments and other signals intelligence together. There's also drones on this map, and the undersea cables. So all of the internet connections that flow across the oceans, if you're talking to anybody outside of America, there is a NSA or a Five Eyes member basically sitting there listening to you. That's the point of all of this. Do you think it's a coincidence? I mean, there's, you know, Cyprus with, you know, a facility right there waiting to suck it all up. And, you know, you can see the connections. Connect the dots. That's what this thing's all about. I knew the Department of Homeland Security had something to do with this. And now I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, after listening to Mike Benz, you know, and then verifying everything he said. So what did he say and who's involved here? So the main culprit is the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, part of the Department of Homeland Security. They treat mis or disinformation, they call it dis malinformation, MDM, not MDMA, MDM. Get used to this term, because you're probably going to hear it again. They treat misinformation as a cyber attack. That's their predicate. That's how they are allowed to get away with what they're doing. It's pretty insane. Threaten social media platforms with losing Section 230 immunities and $54 million fines per post if they do not comply with artificial intelligence to automatically censor topics and keywords considered dis malinformation. CISA recently scrubbed their website to hide this, and Mike Benz actually put this PDF out. DHS quietly purges CISA MDM website to remove domestic censorship references. And you can actually see on the Wayback Machine right here the before and after. So if you actually go to cisa.gov/MDM, you can see their, you know, whole section on dis, and malinformation, and how it's not just, you know, this is American citizens. This is not foreign facing. That is the thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not forward facing. And if, wasn't it the NSA that said, if you got nothing to be ashamed of, you've got nothing to fear, or something like that? Well, then how come when you go to that same page, now it says foreign influence operations and disinformation? Same page, redirected. Sissa, you done fucked up. And Mike Benz fucked you up. And now you're trying to hide it. Well, there are no takebacks on the internet. I thought you would know that. COVID-19 response. Oh, what is this? As COVID-19 spread around the globe, dis, and malinformation spread as well. The MDM team supports the interagency and private sector partners. Read that, private sector partners, the social media platforms. COVID-19 response efforts via regular reporting and analysis of key pandemic-related MDM trends. They literally were spying on everybody, and then they went and deleted their damn page and redirected it to say, no, this is all foreign. It's foreign, Jim. It's not. What are you talking about? Caught red-handed. Another one. Foundation for Freedom Online. God bless you, Mike Benz. Man after my own heart. So there's that. And you can check that out on the Wayback Machine. What he didn't catch, and I caught this one later down here in the details, I found another webpage that they had, and it's called Rumor Control. Oh, and this one's definitely not there. Hashtag Protect 2020. Rumor versus reality. Mis and disinformation can undermine public confidence in electoral process as well as our democracy. Oh, wait. You mean to tell me that y'all were worried about people thinking that the election in 2020 might have been rigged? In fact, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. If you go all the way down to the end of my list, what is this? This is the Election Integrity Project, and it says in their keyword, metadata, that this is why you don't screw with hackers, guys. I'm just going to put it to you real. Real recognize real, right? So I'm gonna do this in real time in front of you guys, okay? I'm gonna go to their website. All right, I'm on the EIP website. All right, election 2020, right here. It says right here, the Election Integrity Project partnership was formed July 2020. That would be after the election, correct? You'd be wrong, because if you actually go into here and you bring up the code, the developer tools, and I notice this because Google literally just spit it out. So I came down here, and what does this say? This says, see if I can blow it up big for you. The Election Integrity Partnership was formed 100 days before the 2020 presidential election. It was, according to Mike Benz, all right, back to the video. According to Mike Benz, they had created this CISA censorship platform to go ahead and pre-bunk the Hunter Biden laptop before the election. This EIP election integrity partnership, and we'll get into who's behind that thing. They were created 100 days before the 2020 election because they knew that we were going to lose our fucking minds whenever we saw the truth. Like, how the fuck do you think? How are you the cyber? Oh my God, my mind's on fire right now. Like, how do you guys do something as dumb as have a meta description for your, it's got an OG meta description for, that's an open graph. That's for Facebook. It's got a Twitter description. It reads the exact same thing. I'll put it back up on the screen. They all read the exact same damn thing. Election integrity partnership was formed 100 days before. This is Twitter description. Come up here. You're going to see the OG description, which is open graph. That's Facebook's open graph. 100 days before the election. All I did was I Googled it, and you wouldn't believe what happened. This is exactly what happened. Watch this. Boom. And it said the election integrity partnership was formed 100 days before the 2020 presidential election. You can't make this stuff up. The reason why it's there is because it was in the damn description. So why the fuck are you going to go and lie about it on here and say no? You know, it wasn't 100 days before the elect. Anyway, it's crazy. So of course you might want to look on the side here because it says who's behind this. The Stanford Internet Observatory, Graphica, the University of Washington Center for an Informed Public, and the DFR Lab. Oh, I know who all those people are. Why? Because I already got it all in the details here. So this is everything that he said. Oh, by the way, there was a nice little video directly from CISA. This is from the Rumor Control page. Their video is still up on YouTube. Play that.
Hi, I'm Chris Krebs with the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. For the last several years, we've been working with election officials across the country to ensure that the 2020 election is as secure as possible. We're now in the final stretch of the election, and tens of millions of voters have already cast their votes free from foreign interference.
And he is totally reading off a fucking card.
We remain confident that no foreign cyber actor can change your vote. And we still believe that it would be incredibly difficult for them to change the outcome of an election at the national level. But that doesn't mean various actors won't try to introduce chaos in our elections.
You mean like Stanford and the Atlantic Council that has 7 former CIA directors on it? No, they not foreign actors. It's an inside job. It's a fucking inside job. Oh my God.
And makes sensational claims that overstate their capabilities. In fact, the days and weeks just before and after Election Day are the perfect time for our adversaries to launch efforts intended to undermine your confidence in the integrity of the electoral process. Cyber actors can do this by taking advantage of the fact that sometimes it's not clear how technology is used. For starters, election officials use computers to improve both your ability to vote and the accuracy of the vote itself. But in doing so, election officials understand that these systems aren't perfect, and sometimes things break, malfunction, or could even be hacked. The election experience is designed to ensure that technology is not a single point of failure, and there are measures in place to ensure that you can vote and your vote is counted correctly. You should have confidence in the integrity of the process and don't overreact to claims that exaggerate the importance of insignificant events. Anticipating attempts along these lines, CISA and the FBI recently released a series of public service announcements describing some of the tactics the bad guys might use, the security measures in place to stop them, and the steps you can take to spot and stop foreign influence. We've also posted our election security rumor control page. You can find that at CISA.
And we have now deleted that rumor control page. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. You just can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. Check. All right, back over here. Dream Real. 100 days before the election was Sunday, July 2020. Yeah, I failed. Hey, I was in a hurry. I'm gonna let you call me on that one. I'm gonna take it right on the chin. I was like, you probably should Google exactly when the election was, and was that 100 days before? Doesn't really matter at this point. But yeah, Dream Real 756 called me on it, and everybody just point at me and laugh. I deserve it. All right. So who's in charge of CISA and these fools that are behind all of the controlling of all of the social media and all the mass censorship? It's the Department of Homeland Security, which is empowered to fight mis or disinformation online as a national security threat. The Global Engagement Center at the U.S. State Department. I know I'm going to really get myself in a whole lot of trouble here going to all of these government websites. But basically, this is the U.S. Department of State Global Engagement Center, and their mission is to direct, lead, synchronize, integrate, and coordinate U.S. federal government efforts to recognize, understand, expose, and counter foreign state and non-state propaganda and disinformation efforts. Non-state, that means anybody that's not a state, like me or you. That is your State Department's Global Engagement Center Ministry of Truth. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence, ODNI. Why don't we go over there? What does that look like? We unify our intelligence community toward a stronger, safer nation. How do you guys do that? Well, we work with all of these people. The National Counterterrorism Center, the National Counterintelligence and Security Center, the National Counterproliferation and Biosecurity Center, the Foreign Malign Influence Center, and the Cyber Threat Intelligence Integration Center. Oh wait, I got a picture of that place. Where was it at? Was it here? Yes, it was here. That's this place right here. Oh, there it is. National Security Operations Center, the NSOC. Pretty fancy looking, isn't it? I didn't even realize read that till afterwards, but yeah, non-state means anybody. Any y'all fools in the chat, that could be you. You are non-state actors. Anyway, let's close all these other tabs out. I don't want to be hanging out on all of their stuff. Anyway, the ODNI, to learn how to become better at spotting influence campaigns, conspiracy theories, do what? And efforts to demoralize or undercut us, please visit the following links, which are endorsed by the Election Threat Executive of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. And I got that here, and that's where I found the rumor control. This is the CISA MDM page that was deleted from the internet that I just showed you. Then I found this one, which is the rumor control page that has also been deleted, which I then, had to go and actually tweet at my boy Mike Benz. I was like, "Yo, Mike Benz, you might want to check this out." Here it is. So I sent him a letter, real quick. Yo, links to the other censoring page right here on archive.org, and that thing. Clemson University, spot the troll. Man, damn it. My dad's going to be really mad when I tell him that Clemson University is in on the censorship game. But I mean, hey, Clemson University Media Forensics Hub. Spotthetroll.org. What a fail. That's Clemson. All the links are there. And then Federal Bureau of Investigation has this thing called Protected Voices Initiatives. And and we'll go to FBI.gov. Man, I'm getting everybody's attention on this live cam. I can promise you that one. Wrong button. So here it is. The FBI's Protected Voices Initiative provides tools and resources to political campaigns, companies, and individuals to protect against online foreign influence operations. They're all of them are throwing foreign in there as much as possible, while just ignoring the fact that there's no line in the sand between foreign and domestic anymore. This is something that we know for a fact at this point. All right, so closing these out, the Atlantic Council, NATO think tank with 7 former CIA directors on their board of directors. The Atlantic Council's Digital Forensics Lab has operationalized the study of disinformation by exposing falsehoods and fake news, documenting human rights abuses, and building digital resilience worldwide. And this is the Atlantic Council's digital disinformation page, along with the Digital Forensic Research Lab. This is the NATO think tank of CIA guys that are behind creating the ability for DHS and CISA to do what they're doing now. And here is their Digital Forensics Research Lab from the Atlantic Council. Yeah, they're bad people. Bad people. They don't trust us. And, what is that called? Narrative warfare. Narrative networks, perception management. This is digital MKUltra. This is digital mind control. This is propaganda 101. And it's being used against Americans. It is being used against everybody in the world. But now our own taxpayer funded, government entities are all being controlled by all of these NGOs and private institutions I'm going to show you now. The Stanford University Internet Observatory, addressing viral medical rumors and false or misleading information. And you can see that here. This is the Stanford's page. Stanford Cyber Policy Center now is what they're calling it at this point. It's the Internet Observatory, as you will. Let me go back here. And you can see this right here. Boom. And we go over here. Addressing viral medical rumors. And, you can read full article. And they got the whole thing here. Their publications, they do all these little research grants. And that's how they, who's paying for those research grants? How about the Minerva Research Initiative by the U.S. Department of Defense, which grants universities and groups to study misinformation online. The goal is to improve the DoD's basic understanding of social, cultural, behavioral, and political forces that shape regions and the world's strategic importance to the U.S. See Russian disinformation and propaganda. Right here is one of their papers. Who got the money, who did the study, Managing Service Agents, Office of Naval Research, a 5-year research project designed to assess the effectiveness of Russian propaganda messages by monitoring the content of propaganda and measuring the effectiveness of the Russian state-sponsored propaganda and disinformation. You guys do the same thing. You create propaganda. That is your thing. It's called the Minerva Research Initiative. Minerva.defense.gov. All I did was take notes. Mike Ben said all the names. I went and I found all the things. So I'm not taking credit for this one, but yeah, I did a lot of work verifying everything he said. So the Stanford University's Internet Observatory, in January 2020, the Stanford Internet Observatory expanded this project in collaboration with colleagues at the New York University, University of Washington, National Council on Citizenship, and Graphica. I don't think I have another link to Graphica, so we'll just bring them up. What does this say? Get out of my way. Navigate the digital world. Online events have real-world impact. Graphica's platform leverages powerful artificial intelligence technologies to map social media networks. What does that mean? That means they're tracking you and all your friends. You didn't know? I'm going to give you guys an example. Let's do an example, because I don't think people really understand how some of this tracking works. If you go to Facebook, every single time you click a Facebook link, it's going to put a Facebook click ID on the end of that URL. So we'll do that together right now. I want you guys just to see this little thought experiment. Why not? Facebook, go to my page. And we'll just scroll down. Let's see what we can find that isn't, live right now. Yeah, I'll pick something from one of my homeboys. That way we don't, get in trouble. All right, here's NASA sounding rockets. Looks good to me. All right, so now what do we have? We have, what did he post? He posted just this link. NASA.gov/sounding rocket/about vapor tracers. But whenever I actually got there, this is what I got. So everything past this question mark, the question mark is called a query. This is all tracking information. I'm gonna post this in chat so you guys can see it. All of that is called a Facebook click or client ID. That ID is unique to me. Okay? And that way they can actually tell. See, now if I take all that off and I hit enter, page still comes up just fine. Doesn't change a damn thing. But this client ID, when I share it to begin with, and then you share my share, and then you go on to Telegram or somewhere else and you share that, then they can track and map your network of friends. That's what they're talking about. To deliver actionable intelligence, empowering our partners to navigate increasingly complex online world. When you guys are sharing this stuff off of, here, you got to remove those damn queries. The damn queries are always on there. It's always going to be on there. And some websites are smart enough to remove it. Okay. That looks like a query. It's probably not. Taking it off will probably break it. Sometimes, see, that website automatically removed it, which is a good thing. But you can't always count on that. So whenever you see like this one right here, I want you guys to be aware of this so you don't do it. There it is. And everything after that question mark FBCLID, that is called a tracking query. Remind your friends, please. Just let people know. This is what these companies are doing. That's how they're tracking you. In addition to cookies, in addition to, don't get me started on, things like CALIA, the Communications Assistance for Law Enforcement Act, that your internet service provider has to like spy on you. By law, they're required to spy on you. So there's all that stuff too. Don't get me started on that. So now, what did they do? What did they all collaborate to do? Four of these groups, 5, they created something called the Virality Project. And you can see that here. Memes, magnets, and microchips. Narratives, dynamics around COVID-19 vaccines. Download the final report. This Virality Project, it is undeniable that online falsehoods played a role in motivating those that stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6. Therefore, it is undeniable that misinformation and disinformation pose a direct threat to the security of the United States. That is their justification. Recent efforts to address the implications of widespread disinformation have been spread across the government. The CISA, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Systems Agency, the State Department, I mentioned that up there at the top, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and others who have responded with an array of actions, including sending tips to social media platforms. Read that, the Twitter files, where they were literally emailing staff at Twitter on a daily basis what posts to take down, who to censor. Oh, and they don't just do, removing your posts. They also do what's called reach limiting. So that's also what, I call shadow banning. Most people call shadow banning. Reach limit is basically keeping you from being able to reach beyond your direct followers. And I've documented this in the past. I've showed this to people on this channel live, where a friend of mine, Diane Heath, she shared a video I did from facebook.com/ClimateViewer. She shares it to her wall. I see it on her wall. It has 0 comments, 0 likes. Yeah, Dirk, you didn't put that in. See, that's Dirk right there in chat. Dirk, I was just using your comment as an example. But yeah, you should always remove them. He's saying that he usually they're just from Facebook, but I always cut them off on Telegram. I know you know that. I'm using you as an example for other people so they know not to include the tracking links at the end of URLs. It's just, one of them things. Anyway, so the tips to social media platforms: engaging in law enforcement activity and providing proactive resilience messaging to slow the consumption of mis and disinformation. So all of this is going on. This is the virality project. And, when you look at, who's behind it, it's all the same people that we've been talking about. This was created by the Stanford University Internet Observatory, New York University, University of Washington, National Council on Citizenship, and Graphica. And all of those were funded by the State Department, the DOD, and all that stuff. Yeah, use a VPN. If you guys want one, go to connect.climateviewer.com. And down here at the bottom, you go past this, you can actually subscribe to my Substack. Join my Telegram chat, because it's blowed up in there. YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey. Past my social medias at the very bottom is ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN, by far the best VPN there is. A virtual private network. What the absolute frick? What a mother. They must have updated their thing. You're really gonna do this to me live on the ExpressVPN's website is down. Well, that just proves to you that it is the best out there, because otherwise, what the hell is that? Hey, does anybody else see this is down? Or is it just me? Down detector. Let's just go see what's on there real quick. I'll check the down detector real quick. No, not showing it. No, that's just somebody interfering on my end. Because it's claiming there are no problems currently. So go figure. Makes you wonder. Tell me if anybody else can click that thing. Just curious. But yes, ExpressVPN, best VPN, period. That encrypts everything that goes through from your computer box, from your Wi-Fi. If you have it on your phone, if you have it on your computer, it encrypts all of the data flowing in and out of your device so that your internet service provider or your cell phone provider cannot track what you're doing, cannot read any of the information that you're sharing between websites, that sort of stuff. Now, remember, cookies in your browsers, or if you're logged into Facebook and then you go to a website that has a Facebook embed on it or a Facebook share, you're still going to get caught. I mean, they're still going to be able to track you, even though you're on a VPN. They know it's you. So you need there's so many steps nowadays. I did a video a while back on how to get online and do that privately, but it's been a minute. Maybe we'll do an update on that in the near future. Okay, well, the link worked for everybody but me live on the freaking internet. Isn't that just hunky damn dory? I don't know what to say about that, y'all. It's not being blocked by my ad block or anything like that either. That's what's so freaking weird about it. I don't know. Man, I don't even know. Request was blocked. I just tried again. It's something else. Because I literally just clicked it again. You know what? Let me try it in a different browser and see what happens. Because now you guys got me wondering. We're going to go over here. We're going to copy the link. And let's see what happens. All right. So let's fire up the Firefox. And we'll bring that over here. And we'll do that. And we'll do this. And we'll go. Work just fine. See what I mean? Get that private Firefox going and everything worked just fine. Come back over here to the Chromium and, oh no, why not? What is that? Now, Control-Shift-N, go to private mode. Oh, what is that? So I go to in private mode and bam, straight to it. The internet is a fickle bitch controlled by the CIA and its operatives. Be gone. Moving along. So, Virality Project, National Conference on Citizenship, these people, and they basically have this right here. I saw this. The Algorithmic Transparency Institute at the National Conference on Citizenship is seeking a motivated person who'd like to censor the shit out of people and study and track everybody. This is an exciting opportunity to work here. Let me get us off the screen for a second. An exciting opportunity to work in a small team in a dynamic and exciting professional setting. The internship program will provide opportunities to learn about threats posed by mis and disinformation to nonprofit community advocacy groups and the broader public. The interns will gain exposure to all facets of this growing program, the censorship industry. So that's one of the guys. How about University of Washington's Center for an Informed Public? Our mission is to resist strategic misinformation, promote an informed society, and strengthen democratic discourse. In my mind just now, I saw democratic. I don't know why. Like, that's my eyes messing with me. But yeah, that's their mission statement right there at the top. These guys were also part of the EIP that we talked about earlier in the thing. I put them at the end. And then there's the New York University, because, when they were mentioned above, I was like, well, let's just, do some searching through their databases. And it's pretty easy if you guys want to know how to do this. All I did was, I saw this. Okay, I'm going to teach you guys the tools. So when I saw this statement here, launching the Minerva the virality project, and all I saw was this little paragraph here at the end. Okay, so this is what I did. You got to learn the tools of the trade. So it says University of Washington. Seems like an uphill battle. Like, how the hell am I going to find it? Well, I just did this. I went and I did search Google. Okay. So I get the University of Washington homepage. Kind of freaking useless. Seriously horsing around here. So instead, what I'm going to do is, when I'm looking at this, I'm going to go back to that, and I'm going to grab this URL. And in front of it, I'm going to write this site : now I'm searching their site, and I'm going to put in misinformation. So I'm going to put this in the chat so you guys understand site operands. This is how you do it. So now I'm only going to search just this website for the keyword term misinformation. Bam. What do we get? UW fights viral misinformation. Be boundless. Oh, what is that? COVID-19 misinformation. Right there. As COVID-19 spreads, so does misinformation about the virus that causes it. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So clearly they have that. Confronting fake news and misinformation. Okay. So I went there. Well, what are we doing here? And then they have all this stuff, organizations. They got all of these, and I'm just searching to see, what can I find about these people? And, I end up at this Center for an Informed Public, the CIP, which ironically gets mentioned, I think by the Aspen Institute in their final report. But there were several different places that were mentioning the CIP. And then New York University, same thing. So you just, basically look up that group, and then, you make your way through. So I'm just searching the actual site. So if I put in site : FBI.gov, I'm searching just the FBI.gov. The very first thing that comes up is protecting voices, combating foreign influence, Oregon FBI Tech Tuesday, building digital defenses. You can just search a website for that term and dig very deeply. That's how I've been able to find just about everything that I've been able to find, is knowing these operands. There's like NURL, and there's all these other different things. If you look this up, it's a Google hack cheat sheet. Google hacking cheat sheet and advanced querying. You're welcome. Here you go. I'll drop that link in chat so you guys can all just save that. Now, you could be a Google hacker like me. The one I was using in particular is just site : is it even listed here? Yeah, they're right there. Site : only search within the website's given domain. In URL, value is contained somewhere in the URL. File type, if you're looking for, say, file type PDF. I'm looking for PDFs on this website. So you can use multiple of these. So this is like, you know, I'm not gonna. It's referred to as Google hacking. Okay, I didn't make the term up, but if you don't know how to Google hack, then now you do. That's a freebie. That's specifically for the people who watch this video. Download it, learn how to, learn to play with it in text, all in URL. So, there's a lot of stuff here that you can use. I'm not going to get any further into that. I think you guys get the point. These operands allow you to do very deep dives on the internet and find all kinds of stuff that they, TM, don't want you to know. And by the way, that works on most search engines. Oddly enough, it's not just Google. But anyway, we're past all that. So anyway, the Aspen Institute's Commission on Information Disorder. I like how they make it sound like it's a disorder, guys. Yeah, that's a real ass thing there. The effort aims to identify and prioritize the most critical sources of causes of information disorder. They're not even using the term. So now, I need to go back to all of the websites that I went to begin with and look up information disorder, because now I have a new keyword. It's very similar to looking up geoengineering versus climate engineering versus climate intervention. If they change the term, now you've got to follow a whole new rabbit hole to find out what these, NGOs and these, deep state blob, freaking CIA agents, what they're up to. You have to learn to Google hack, and you need to learn that terms matter. That is how you get to the truth. That's how you ever you get past the bullshit layer of the internet and get deep down in the weeds and get to the truth. But as we can see here, they called it information disorder and deliver a set of short-term actions and long-term goals to help government and the private sector and civil society respond to modern-day crisis of faith in key institutions. Oh, key institutions like the election process? Yeah, that's what they're talking about there. This is their final report also on that. The Commission on Information Disorder final report, dated November 15, 2021. And, it's interesting. You should read it. And finally, the Election Integrity Partnership, which I showed earlier, which of course, it had, where was that thing at? Stanford Internet Observatory Center for an Informed Public. Oh, it was on here. Yeah. The DFR Lab, Graphica, all of the things that, were said earlier, it's right there on there. The 2020 Election Integrity Partnership, and they're all watching, and they're all part of this. I did my part, and I verified everything that he was saying. A lot of poo on my face on not doing the math on that, and that these actually are the exact same thing. Ha 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 ha. I was in a hurry. Okay. But that's not the only interview. He also, did a full interview on Rumble and with a short teaser on YouTube. So watch this video by Russell Brand as well. And then he did a third video on this one, and this comes from thefederalist.com, and you just can't make that up. Government-backed censors who rigged the 2020 election are now stealing 2024. This worries me more than anything else right now because of where we are in the world right now. Our ability to be able to have honest conversations about chemtrail, contrail. I mean, can we even have that conversation if they're now deciding who our leaders are, deciding what we can say online, deciding what questions we can ask? I mean, this digital MKUltra, this digital mind control, these sons of bitches that think that they can control a free people who are protected by constitutional, protections, and damn it, my right to freedom of speech was not granted to me by the the Bill of Rights. It was granted to me by God. God gave me the ability to be free, to be outspoken, to question everything, including God himself. Israel literally means struggle with God. If God's okay with me questioning him and his existence, or her or it, then who the hell are you to tell me what I can and cannot ask? And I think that should be the honest response from everybody, whether you're a political talking figure, if you're just, playing video games and then you happen to say something, something off the wall. Oh, you might get canceled. Fuck them. I'm not here for you to like me. I don't give a damn if you personally like me. I care about the truth, not some subjective truth, not some, ambiguous, amalgamous, amoeba of bullshit. I want to know the truth and to be able to do something about it. And I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but, I'm getting closer to believing, when people are like, the satanic cult, of these people, these godless people, that worship government above all else. Is it that? Let me know in the comments. Is it that, or are they like the Lord of the Rings? They're corrupted by the power. What is it that motivates these people to think that they can decide who our president is, what we're allowed to speak, say online? We can't have honest debate anymore. Fuck that. That's all I got to say. From a guy who comes from a list of revolutionary warriors, and I can say that honestly. From Richard Henry Lee, who signed the Declaration of Independence, to William Lighthorse Harry Lee, uncle to Robert E. Lee, and then on my mother's side, Tecumseh from the Pawnee Indians. On one side of my family, they were scalping motherfuckers. On the other side, they were taking on, the Britain and saying, you know what? Fuck your tyranny. So hey, I'm going to say it like this. This is tyranny. This is bullshit. And if we do not do something about this bullshit, this propaganda, this privacy, this problem, these conversations will be over. That makes it the most important. I don't care whether you believe in flat earth or not. I will fight for your right to be able to speak freely about that, to come harass me in chat about that. Because the day we all agree is the day we could all be wrong. So it's the most important right. And that's why it's the First Amendment in the Bill of Rights, is freedom of speech. Freedom to assemble, freedom of the press. Our press is fake. 99% of our press is fake today. That's why they're so scared of you. That's why they're so scared of me. They want to be able to control the narrative on everything. Epstein killed himself. Don't you know? Because we say so. 9/11, the towers, they were knocked down by jet fuel. You know what? I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore, but I at least want to have the freedom to explore the craziest shit somebody might say, because guess what? I have the fucking right to. And you have the right to also. And unless people really understand how fundamentally important freedom of speech and not being censored by the goddamn government that we literally pay for, the only option left at that point is to opt the hell out. Because I can promise you this, when it comes down to it, when everybody stops paying their taxes, there won't be a you. And I hope that it doesn't come to that. I hope that people come to their senses and realize, and I hope that we have a Supreme Court with a backbone, Missouri v. Biden right now, about the government's role in censoring people, getting involved with social media and directly infecting them with, their poisonous control mechanisms. I'm praying that everything's going to work out well. Hell, the last 2 videos that I did, I was streaming live to Facebook. Facebook took both of them down on all my channels. On Facebook.com/weather modification history, Facebook.com/ClimateViewer, and my personal profile, Facebook.com/resonated, REZN8D. So I said, fuck them. And I'm not streaming to Facebook anymore. YouTube censored my People Cookers video right in the middle of it because I played a clip. I played the whole damn 60 minutes interview. Of course, I paused it and I interrupted and I did all the things that I had to in order to make it fair use. But this stream needs more nipples. Just for you, Mark. Oh. This is a Papa Bear nipple time. Just for the Mark Swan. Love you, Mark. Anyway, guys, I've done about all the ranting I need to for tonight. Please share this video. Share the Substack post, because I did the work to take the, watch it 3 times. It's an hour long. Watch it 3 times. Take the notes. Make sure that I went and I found every one of these sons of bitches that he was mentioning in that video. And I think that people need to know about this, because if we don't do something about this, if people don't know about who is behind the censorship, then we will never be able to do anything about it. So this one really matters to me a lot. And I am self-censoring a lot because I wanted to say attack ideas, not people. But this one gets me pretty fucking heated, because this is a military coup. There's no other way to describe what is going on other than this is a military coup. This is what Eisenhower was warning about when he described the military-industrial complex. Those people, those entities are now deciding who's president. They are pre-bunking stories to make sure the outcome goes the way they want. They're censoring anybody who questions pandemics or anything. To hell with that. But still, knowing is half the battle. And please remember, attack ideas, not people. Even if you're really pissed. If this video resonates with you, leave me a comment because I love hearing from y'all. First time here, be sure to subscribe and click the bell. Yeah! Remember, it would be impossible for me to do this without your support, so please join my Patreon or buy me a coffee on PayPal. And always, attack ideas, not people.
Kids are impressionable. That's why here at this station, we watch the programs and commercials your child watches carefully. He may see bad guys, but not in the role of heroes. And he'll learn that crime doesn't pay. Because your child's welfare is our concern, too. That's part of our code.
Better than anything you can get without a prescription. Anything. It's the best.